the pleasure of being here with Ted McMullen, who is also known as Teddy Mac Elvis. So Teddy Mac Elvis, well, first of all, we know that you fly this beautiful Stearman because you flew it overhead where I was camping over at Live Oak, so I saw that, ran out in a towel because I had to see it. And tell me about, we'll hear about the airplane, but tell me a little bit about how you became Teddy Mac Elvis, and tell me about what you do with that.
Well, it was funny. Back years ago while I was in school, I had my own little band, and we played for all the little parties and had a great time. And as I got older, our band got better, and we played in all kind of little venues and stuff. And I had a man come up to me and said he had 4 songs he wanted to record and have it sent to Nashville to see if he could sell the music, and wanted me to put my voice down just to give them an idea on a track. And I'll never forget when I was in there in the sound booth, we sang the song 5 or 6 times, and finally they told me come on in, and I sat down and I started hearing this song, and then I heard somebody singing on it, and I asked them, I said, did you have somebody else already singing on this before? And they said no. They kind of looked at me funny, said, that's you. And they said, you kind of got an Elvis voice. And it's been that way ever since. They say, you sound almost like Elvis when you sing. I know when I talk, I'm just a country guy because I was raised on a farm, and I learned to sing on a John Deere tractor without a muffler. So it was boring at 7 and 8 years old in that field. So you sung higher than a muffler, and it gave me a stronger voice.
What a story! They didn't even know what your voice sounded like, and
No.
You never realized it sounded like Elvis.
That's it, because, you know, I went to the ear doctor one time, and I asked him, I said, you know, it's strange. And until he said it, then I realized it's true, that when you talk, you're actually not listening through your ears. It's going from your vocal cords into the vibration is what you're really hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people, if they call their cell phone and get their own recording, they go, oh my God, that's an awful recording. I got to do that again, because they're listening to themselves through the ears, not through their nerves going to the ears. And so that's why I never heard Elvis, but they say it sounds like Elvis. And so I started actually singing some Elvis stuff and doing quite a bit of it. And many years before that, my dad and mom, they live in Jacksonville, and Tommy Durden and Mayborn Axton was friends of theirs, and they brought some music over. My dad was a composer on the piano. Brought some words over to have some music put to it so they could have this copyrighted to try to sell it. And he said he'd do it, and he wrote the music down on a copyright sheet and gave it to him. I think he got $20 for it back in '56. And then she got with a young man, and come to find out, my dad had wrote the lead sheet music to Heartbreak Hotel for Elvis Presley. So
wow.
Then I'm starting to do Elvis, and my dad said, it's like a full circle, son. I helped Elvis get his first million seller, and now you're doing Elvis. So it's been a crazy kind of merry-go-round, and I kind of enjoyed it all the way through the time. So
Tell me about the Stearman. Should we do a walk around, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's a little rough, but it's a 1943 PT-17 Stearman, and it flies generally like any other plane. You just can't see where you're going most of the time, especially on takeoff and landings. If you'll notice that the engine's way ahead of where the pilot sits,
Right.
and it's a lot higher, so you have to slip your plane in anytime you land, period.
So you can see.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to use your peripheral vision once you bring it around straight, and kind of get a visualize you're still going straight, and use that peripheral vision to keep it straight. And you really have to dance the pedal with that tail wheel. But she's a wonderful beast to fly in.
Wow. And so have you ever had any tricky situations, like, I don't know, thought you were going to ground loop, or?
Not really ground loop, no. I did have one time that I was by myself flying from Keystone Heights, and at the end of the runway at Lake City, I was probably a good 9 miles away from it. And they do rebuild jets there, and then the weather was coming in. I was at the minimums to get back here to Kitty Hawk, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the clouds are above you. You can't see 500 feet above the clearness. Out of nowhere, the plane actually rolled to the right real hard.
Wow.
And I was almost inverted, but not quite.
Jeez.
Full throttle and nose up, brought it back around. And I was kind of looking to see if something fell off the airplane. But everything was fine. It flew for another 45, 50 seconds, and then it went the opposite way.
Jeez.
And it went completely inverted. And I brought it back around and wondered what was going on, because I had the radio setting for Lake City. I always do, just for safety, to hear anything around me, what's going on. Mm-hmm. And never heard anything, but then it come to find out there was a jet, slow and dirty, coming over the top of them clouds you couldn't see, and I happened to go through the turbulence, the wake turbulence from the engine. So I went one way and it went the opposite way, and that's what had happened. But other than that, I ain't had any trouble.
Right. That's good. So this was your dream. It was to have and fly a Stearman.
That's it.
Everybody should live and be able to, sometime in their life, accomplish their dream.
Yeah, you can follow that dream, wherever that dream may lead to.
Oh, do some. Do just a little bit of your favorite, and I'll have.
Oh, come on.
Oh yeah, just a little, and I'll have the airplane in the background.
Oh, I don't know what to do though.
Is there one that's Heartbreak Hotel? Your dad wrote it.
Oh, I know, but something little. When I said I needed you, you said you always stay. Wasn't me who changed with you, and now you're gone away.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.